What are signs someone is a horrible person deep down? They use intimate, vulnerable things you share with them against you. Lack of accountability. It's always someone else's fault. Only being nice to people who can be useful to them. How dare you be mad I did something horrible? They are proud of their trashy behaviors. Everywhere is their personal trash can. Choosing beggar. Attention seeker. Thinks that everyone owes them everything. Is only kind to others. When cameras are present. Treats service employees as second-class people. Turns people against other people. Everything is about something polarizing to them. When they love making other people look bad. Constantly calling people out. Putting others down. Disrespecting hospitality workers. Constantly talking shit about whatever friends are not present at the time. Sometimes there are none. How they treat people who are below them. How they treat animals. Dogs. Cats. Wildlife. I have been in the car with people who actively try to hit any animal they see crossing the street. That kind of shit. Observe how they treat animals and people who can't defend themselves properly. Children as well. Someone who isn't willing to change or grow. They don't take accountability and blame others. If they don't respect boundaries. And also generally how they act in conflicts with others. People who talk shit behind everyone's back. They don't change as a person because they claim that people have to accept them for who they are. Even if they are horrible human beings. They increase the price of remote raid passes. A big one is how they treat service people, waiters, delivery people, etc. Diane's quote from BoJack is great. That's the thing. I don't think I believe in deep down. I kinda think all you are is just the things that you do. They never own up to anything they did and manipulate others. They blame everyone but themselves. Do mental somersaults to avoid acknowledging a mistake. Every interaction with them feels passive-aggressive to the point you wonder if they're just not capable of anything genuine. They are willing to hurt others in any way for their own personal benefit. People who have a lot of crazy exes are a big red flag. Never questioning if they're a bad person lol. They literally don't care about how they hurt someone. When they gaslight you or manipulate you into questioning your reality. And then you react. And it seems as though you're the bad guy. The mind games aren't funny. Just a sanity fuck. And if you're going to fuck around, best believe you will find out. They don't put their card back into the return. They litter. From experience, every relationship ends poorly. And it's always somehow the other person's fault. They take credit for every positive outcome and throw around blame for every negative outcome. Diagnosing people they don't like with things like schizophrenia, narcissism, psychopathy, etc. to explain why those people are so bad. Using minor things like split bills and paying them back for something as a means of extorting money from you. Like buying something without consulting you then demanding you pay them back for said purchase. Or making you pay the full price of something you agreed to split payment on. Everybody leaves me. Casual threats, guilt tripping. I won't talk to you until you do the dishes, if you don't tell me. I'll make you sleep on the couch. Assuming that when you're talking about something hurtful someone did, you're talking about them. Assuming that all apologies are disingenuous because that's how their apologies are. Using apologies to get what they want. Using things that have nothing to do with the circumstance as a means of avoiding taking accountability for a minor problem. Sorry I've been ghosting you over important things. My cat has fleas and it's just making me so stressed out and depressed. RN skeptical smiley face. Not communicating boundaries and then getting mad at you for crossing said unknown boundary, acting like it was something you should have just guessed. I'm terrified of starfish and you showed me a picture of a starfish. I hate you and you should have known better even though I never once told you this. It's your problem, not mine. Not communicating when they're upset with you and just talking behind your back about it instead. Considers every form of accountability you take as an excuse. Because that's how they handle problems. Unable to move past minor infractions years later, still talking shit about people they cut off years ago. Thinking it's okay to say questionable or harmful things because, well, someone said this to me and as a victim I'm allowed to say it to other people. acting like them, purposely antagonizing someone they've cut off as them, taking the power back. Parental tampering. Any parent that would leverage a child against the other parent, or use visitation as a punishment-reward system is nigh unforgivable. They're stubborn and selfish. They never compromise on anything. Everything is about them. Obviously, there's a good way to be stubborn. But I'm talking about the selfish kind of stubborn. Kicking someone when they're down, either literally or figuratively. Here to see if I'm horrible. They always talk about themselves and hardly ask anything about you. They beat up their lack of empathy when something bad happens. If they ban water breaks for workers in extreme heat, like this. Narcissist personality. They disappoint you frequently and don't do what they say they will do. The way they treat people that they have some form of temporary power over, like waitstaff, retail workers, etc. If they treat them like shit, just remember that, at some point, you could be downgraded to the help too. They find something negative to say to every single positive thing you tell them. Displaying no empathy or care for anyone, other than themselves. I look into the mirror and suddenly remember all the fucked up things I need to do merely to make it through the day. They use children to commit crimes. They take pride in being an AH. Bonus points if they ever say I don't have a filter. It's code for I'm an AH and I don't care who I hurt, so prepare for offense. If you call me out, I'll try to gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. I think if someone is often unreasonable, it's a sign they lack empathy and have a hard time thinking about things unrelated to themselves. They will treat you like a doormat, and the relationship dynamic is extremely one-sided in that regard. They will fully expect you to tolerate extremely poor behavior from them and other people, but will react very badly when you actually stand up for yourself or they otherwise feel you have disrespected or offended them in some way. They seek conflict on purpose and will cause it in any way possible. They hold on to grudges easily and won't let anything go without a fight. They keep track of how you have disrespected them over time. They are extremely vindictive and will find any way to punish you every time they feel you have disrespected them. In the case of divorced parents, they might use their children as pawns against the other parent to get back at them and will engage in parental alienation in an attempt to turn the child against said parent. They are extremely argumentative and will proceed to give long, ranting lectures instead of speaking in a calm, respectful manner. They are extremely negative and critical all of the time and will never offer anything positive to a discussion. This also extends to them never being happy for you in any way. E.g., getting good grades at school or a job promotion at work. Due to this constant negativity, you cannot speak to them because you know that they will respond in this way, or feel that you are walking on eggshells around them because of their negativity. They are verbally abusive. They'll insult you, call you names, etc., etc. They'll also belittle you, your hobbies and interests, as well as friends and family. They'll use offensive language to that effect. E.g., calling your actually decent car a piece of junk or calling your friend a loser. Lack of effective communication. This also includes them never being willing to compromise on a situation. Instead of actually discussing it like an adult, they are prone to physical violence. They are gaslighters. They love bomb you. They are extremely selfish and self-centered. They will only ever think of themselves. They will also only ever care about their own needs and wants. No one else's. They lack empathy and compassion towards other people. They are financially abusive. They will use money to control and manipulate you into doing what they want. They are very accusatory. E.g., when you are looking for a job, they're calling you lazy or saying that you have a bad attitude and you don't want to work. However, these accusations would be completely unfounded and it's just an extension of their abuse as per number 8. Almost every time you would spend time with them or otherwise communicate like a phone call or a text message, there would always be some kind of agenda or ulterior motive behind it. Because they want something from you and not to have a normal conversation. It is very much a transactional relationship. They view you as a punching bag. Meaning that if they're having a bad day for whatever reason that had absolutely nothing to do with you, they'll lash out at you regardless. They outright refuse to help you in absolutely any way whatsoever. Even in difficult times. Or if they do choose to help you, they want something in return. They want you to return the favor. They crave attention 24/7 and have an intense dislike towards the idea of you having a life outside of them. They do not respect your privacy. They'll repeatedly barge into your room, demand to know who you are phoning, etc. They'll also speak about you to other people behind your back and share extremely personal information without your explicit permission. They're dishonest to you and to other people about you. They'll attempt to paint you in a bad light by omitting certain details and otherwise twisting the narrative to suit their agenda. They are never, ever wrong and refuse to ever apologize for anything. They think they can sweep their behavior under the rug and pretend nothing ever happened. They will also never regret their actions in a situation. Only the consequences if they are cut off. Relating to the above, they also engage in victim blaming and scapegoating instead of accepting responsibility for their, or other people's, poor behavior. They might attempt to isolate you from friends and family. They play the victim in any given situation. They might also give you the silent treatment and ignore you for prolonged periods of time without explanation. And then out of the blue they'll start speaking to you again like nothing happened. When other people criticize you, they won't defend or support you in any way. In fact, they'll likely take the side of the other person criticizing you. They do not accept different opinions and theirs is the only valid one. They judge other people's opinions without understand their perspective first. They think that they own a monopoly on all the correct answers. They threaten cruel and unusual punishments for the smallest mistake or infraction. This might also extend to threatening to kick you out of the house and disown you completely as well for really minor things too. They view you as a burden. You are made to feel that you should be grateful that they are spending any time with you at all when they could easily cease all contact at a moment's notice. They are prone to wild mood swings. One moment they'll appear to be fine and in a good mood. Next moment they're angry and abusive. You never know what kind of mood they will be in on a given day. They get angry at the smallest thing and saying the wrong thing would instantly change their mood for the worse. They do not respect other people's boundaries and won't take no for an answer. Whenever they are harassing you with any kind of abuse, physical, verbal, etc., and you plainly ask, tell them to stop, they'll ignore you and continue regardless. Either they lack the genuine empathy, or they just don't care in the slightest about the harm that they cause others. They are extremely dismissive of your feelings, and when you attempt to address a legitimate concern with them or otherwise confront them about their behavior towards you, they'll attempt to invalidate your feelings and justify their behavior towards you or otherwise downplay a situation that they caused. They view parenting as simply providing the physical needs of the child, i.e., providing a roof over their head and feeding and clothing the child. But caring about the child's happiness and mental well-being? Not a concern for them. They think that parenting has an age limit. As soon as the child reaches X age, usually 18, they think that their job as a parent is done and subsequently want to kick out their child as soon as possible. They view children as simply extensions of themselves and not as separate individuals with their own needs and wants. As a result, they think that they are entitled to dictate every aspect of their children's lives. Even extremely trivial things. They put conditions on their love towards the child and having a relationship with them. They will blatantly favor one child over another instead of treating all of their children equally. When you attempt to cease all contact with them due to any of the above points, the reverse to the silent treatment occurs. They do not accept this, and as such, they're harassing you constantly, or those close to you, and demanding that they just want to talk. But in reality it is simply manipulation to continue their previous behavior. They are too perfect to everyone else, or having no empathy for anyone else, or simply just not caring about anybody else but themselves. Entitlement. Well, it didn't occur to me at the time. But someone having their entire family not talk to them, having been removed from the board of multiple non-profits, having no other friends, constantly complaining about other people, never taking responsibility or fault for anything, extensive driving and parking tickets, and not having any job other than being a scumlord for properties they got in a very contentious divorce should have set off some red flags. It wasn't until I got a therapist because I was depressed and they helped me to see the real issue that things became clear. They even helped me to see that I wasn't being accommodating to try and make things work but being sexually and financially abused with little to no chance the other person would change or even admit they were part of the problem. I'm now 5 years out of the most abusive and detrimental relationship I've ever been in and finally getting my life back on track. P.S. Yes. Men can be the victims of a female abuser. We just are too ashamed or confused to what is actually happening to report it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.